Good afternoon, Nova Nation. It's WXVU Sports Director David Szczepanski back here in the WXVU studio for our second Villanova men's basketball preview of the season as your Villanova Wildcats get ready to take on the Columbia University Lions. Tonight at the Finneran Pavilion at 7 p.m. Our pregame coverage on WXVU will begin at 6:30 p.m. Villanova turning the page, even though they had a really nice win against Lafayette on Monday evening. Final score was 75-62. Villanova had 5 players finish the game in double digits: Jameer Brickus, Tyler Perkins, Josiah Mosley, Wooga Poplar, and Enoch Bowachi. Wooga Poplar had 20 points in that game with 10 rebounds. He had a double-double, and so did Enoch Bowachi, double-double with 10 points, 11 rebounds. Villanova, they played pretty well against Lafayette, especially in the second half. They scored 45 points in the final 20 minutes, despite leading by just 1 point at halftime, 30-29. Villanova does have to clean up the turnovers. They had 17 turnovers against the Leopards, but they did really well in the rebounding category, won that by about 15, 20 rebounds. They had 13 offensive boards. So overall for Villanova, 12-point victory. You'll take it, and now the Wildcats move on to face Columbia tonight. It's a beautiful afternoon on campus, 80 degrees, sunny, and it's great because Eric Dixon plays basketball tonight for your Villanova Wildcats. He returns after serving his 1-game suspension for participating in the Portsmouth Invitational. He served that suspension on Monday, now returned to the starting lineup tonight on Wednesday, and that will most likely mean that Tyler Perkins will move over to the bench after he slid into the starting lineup with Dixon out on Monday. As for Columbia, they really struggled last year. They had just 4 conference wins against Ivy League competition. They were 4-8 in away games last year. Their offense can score, though. They average around 77 points per game in the 2023-24 season. Their top scorer, Geronimo Rubio de la Rosa, scored more than 14 points per game last season for the Lions, and he scored more than 20 points against Loyola Maryland on Monday. That was their season opener for Columbia. They battled Loyola Maryland on the road on Monday night. They won that game 81-78, even though they were favored to win by more. But their offense can definitely score. Their defense averaged around 73 points allowed last season, so their defense will give up points at times, as well as they struggle at turnovers. They averaged more than 12 turnovers per game last season. So Columbia, they have some good players. Like I said, Rubio de la Rosa, they also have some good depth under him. Rubio de la Rosa was the only player that averaged more than 10 points per game last season, but they had a good amount of players that were in that 8 or 9 points per game mark or point in terms of the points average per game. But Rubio de la Rosa is really the main player to watch for Columbia University as they come to the Finneran Pavilion tonight to take on Villanova. Eric Dixon is back. Both teams are 1-0 heading into this game. WXVU will have live coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. with the pregame show as Nathan and Paul will lead you in to Stephen Kane, Ryan Scanlons, and our call of the game tonight at the Finneran Pavilion. Again, Villanova versus Columbia. Stay tuned for more action on my social media throughout the evening. And as always, go Cats!